Right, welcome to another episode of the Love Island cast. I am Chris Phelps and my co-host is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey Chris, here we are again.
Yep, another daily podcast, Dave, on Love Island. We can't stick away, and I've got to say the intro's changing because I can't call you cynical. I could just call you a fan, so I'm just introducing you as Mr. Dave Horrocks because you deserve it. You've gone 11 days now watching this show, and again, it's been amazing. So have you been all right watching it last night, Dave, before?
Oh, Chris, I mean, it just gets better and better, doesn't it? And I do feel, Dave / hypocrite / superfan, recently turned convert. I mean, you can stick all the labels you want on it, but it does seem, it has been a full 180, hasn't it? Or a 560.
Well, we'll get into that in a second. Just before we go any further, I want a massive thanks from both of us to everyone who's listened, everyone who's downloaded the show. We've had such a great response, far more than what we thought possible. We just put this out there as a bit of fun, and we're really, really thankful to everyone. And if you can get out there, guys, to review the show on your podcast hosting site, please give us a 5-star review and just give us your honest opinions on the show. I do appreciate it. But if you are using Anchor, which is our podcast hosting site, there is a lovely little feature, which I've mentioned a couple of episodes ago, where you can actually leave a voicemail for the show. And friend of the show and guest, who will be coming on in a couple of days, Mr. Asa Caton, has actually left us a voicemail. So this is what you can do, guys, to support us, give us abuse, or just put anything about the show or questions you want us to answer. So over to you, Mr. Caton.
I just wanted to say, absolutely loving your work, both of you. And the podcast is, I can't believe you're keeping it so up to date. Dave, your psychoanalysis just gets better and better. And Chris, I'm just flabbergasted with how little effort you've put into switching Dave on to Love Island. He's absolutely gripped, he's hooked, and he's fully apped up. Can't wait to catch up with you guys if you'll have me on again. So, we can chat about some of the 180s that you guys have been pulling. Absolutely hilarious. Anyway, that's all for now, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
So, Dave, as you mentioned before that little message from Mr. Caton, let's talk about a 560 spin. I've never seen it. And even I got it wrong in our little WhatsApp group because I was saying, well, that means he's coming round twice. And actually, I was corrected by Asa, and it's actually 720. So I don't even know where I would have been looking. So let's try and think about that logical bit of dialogue from Tommy.
Well, I mean, people do say that, don't they? They say he's done a 360. Well, you don't have to be Yuandi. You don't have to be a scientist to think, well, if you do a 360, that means you're facing exactly the same place that you started.
Yep.
But a 560, I don't know what he's thinking. He's just like, it is so Tommy. I mean, I've called out Anton because he's a little bit David Brent, but I actually think Tommy is as well. Maybe not quite David Brent, but he's something because he gets a feel of these words. He kind of hears these words and then he uses them slightly in the wrong context or doesn't quite use them in the correct way. So yeah, I think what he probably means is he's doing a 180, so he's definitely, I mean, we've seen it from him before and I don't quite get why is everyone just so buying into him? And I think the general public, so from a lot of the tweets and social media sentiment I get, there's still a lot of love out there for Tommy. And there is absolutely something endearing about him. But he's just like a dog with two dicks, isn't he? I mean, he's saying to Maura, he's like, before you came in, Molly May was the only one for me. Well, hang about.
Yeah.
Before Molly May, Lucy was the only one for him. So he's done it twice now where he's reassured, a girl, and then someone else has come in, and within 20 minutes, his head's completely turned.
Completely. And just before, I agree, I totally agree. He's just like, I think he's probably not had this much attention, Dave, maybe when he was younger. He might have had as he's got older because he's a good-looking guy. He's obviously a model as well, but oh my word, I've got to say, let's go back slightly. The meals with the two new girls, so Maura especially, who I absolutely think I'm Team Maura now, without a doubt. She's came in there like a whirlwind, taking names, as I do say, Dave. And the girls were absolutely fucking pathetic. I mean, they were catcalling from the top of the balcony and saying stuff when Michael was with her. And she said, I'll give you something to shout about. She said it's embarrassing. And it was. And Amber lied anyway. She was like, I never said anything. I never said anything. You fucking did. She was the worst for it. I mean, I've got to say, I went right off Anna straight away because I thought, nah, you're a proper slap-tars. She has no horse in that race, but yet she decided she was going to be like intimidating that girl. So I was just like, nah, you're out of order for me. I proper went off both their trains last night. I really did. I think in reflection, it's Team Maura all the way for me now, Dave, definitely.
Well, I am definitely the opposite to you then, because I don't like her. I mean, I don't know. Do you like her or do you like the drama that she's created?
It's the drama she's created, I think.
Okay.
I like the forwardness of her, and I like the way that she's just gone, you know what, fuck you sort of thing. Someone online has put it, she's a bit like, because I'm a big Conor McGregor fan, I know he's an MMA fighter, did totally different business, but he literally doesn't care. And the fact that, for me, when I watch these shows, I used to say my big brother and that, you know, when you sat there voting, and I know I understand, you're all sat there and you don't piss anyone off, but if you're on that show and you're not going to see anyone again, and if you wanted to win it, why can't you just say in front of someone, I just don't fucking like you, or I'm going to do this. and for me, she got my total respect. Whether she's been briefed, whether she's blagging it, I don't know. I mean, I've got to give her 10 out of 10 because if her family's watching, some of the way she's so forward about what she wants to do to Tommy or what she wants him to do to her, I'm like, she's like, actually, she's like, well, you sure about that? Are you sure? Sure you don't want me? And he's just like, he don't know what the hell to do, does he? I think he's a confident lad, and I think even he's tongue-tied. He's like, what the fuck's going on here? He's probably never met a girl like that who's so headstrong, you know, whether it's an act or not. She's really, really clever because the whole attention of the show's on her now, Dave. And she's not just gone with Tommy. I know she's saying Tommy, but she's still a couple of the other lads, that Danny as well. He was sort of saying, would you like me as well? He was ready to drop Yuanda, wasn't he? He was definitely something going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, Yuandi said, every reaction causes a reaction, which is not the saying at all. It's every action causes a reaction. And so I thought, hang about, that's first of all, when she introduced herself as a scientist, I don't know many people who do that. And I work in the tech scientific space. So that struck me as a little bit odd, but I didn't really think too much of it. But getting such a fundamental saying wrong made me think, are you actually just full of shit? Do you know a little bit and you're parading something that you're not really? So, but anyway, that's just, I'll put a pin in that and I might come back to that, but it just made me think, hang about, there's something about you that doesn't add up to me. But let's take the essence of what she was saying there. So the way the girls walked in as if they own the place and with a real intent. And given what you told me before, in that when the lads come in, you know, they're fairly open, they're fairly welcoming, but when the girls come in, it's a different case. And you absolutely saw that. You saw that the girls who'd been there before absolutely didn't like these girls, but it was bang out of order. But I can half understand maybe, okay, if they've walked in like they've owned a place. It just kind of escalated from there, didn't it? And you could see as the meal went on, you know, the tensions, the heckling, the sledging just got worse and worse. And I don't know if I'd have to go back and watch it again, maybe tomorrow morning. Did Amber actually shout anything? She was visibly annoyed. She was agitated. And I think she said, you know, I don't lose. But I don't know if it seemed to me that Anna was the main ringleader in shouting. Also, Molly May shouting down. I think I saw Yuande shout a little bit as well. And they all seemed to wind each other up. And as one of them had pushed the boat out a little bit more, that'd escalate things further. And then, you know, fair play to Maura, because it must be nerve-wracking to go in there. She got more and more bolshy as it went on. So fair play to her for that. And that feeding Michael the banana, I think that's slightly ironic given what we might see with Tommy and Maura a bit later. But, that gave Amber, obviously, got her back up. But I think I warmed to Michael a bit more in this. He does seem to have kind of strong morals. He does seem like a nice guy, but, he stands up for what he believes in. And of course, you saw we've only just had Amber and Michael get together, but you could see straight away, he just wasn't happy and said, he's not dealing with this childish shit. So, yeah, I thought we sort of, the nation, it seems, is warming to Amber a bit. We've seen that sweeter side to her. She started to thaw a bit, but she absolutely got cold as ice, didn't she? And I wondered if that would be the end of that relationship. But honestly, I think they've got a bit stronger because of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Molly May as well, she sort of came on and was doing Tommy's done this, Tommy's done that. And Michael was like, I can't put up with this fucking nonsense. And you're right, he walked off. He obviously can't stand the girl. But as well, when you had this whole argument back and forth, who came out of it the best, Dave? I mean, I've got to give Tommy full credit. Tommy went at her, didn't he? She started having a go at him. The guy I like's a box, a guy like it. And he's like, no, you've been after 2 or 3 other lads, just sort of feeling yourself out. I'm not saying that straight away she should come and then go straight for Tommy. I'm not saying that. Everyone has their own taste, someone who they connect with. And I get that. But she's led him along, hasn't she? And he's been picked and everything. He was picked over Callum. Obviously, Callum went. But she's made no effort. There's nothing there on that screen. You can see, at least with Curtis and Amy, there's something. But then I got to give Tommy credit. He absolutely nailed her. He was like, well, you were interested sort of thing. What do you want me to do? So I like her. And he did give it her. But then the man of the episode, Dave, he wasn't in it for 50-odd minutes. And good old Anton did the business for me. He redeemed himself last night because he just went, he just said to me, he said, well, you've been messing me, but messing someone else, blah, blah, blah. He goes, you made your bed, lie in it. And I thought, you know what? I give him full credit for that because he was absolutely on the money there. He said, you've been pissing about basically with everyone. And then all of a sudden you're taking the moral high ground. I don't think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, starting off with Molly May, I don't like her. She is a spoiled little brat and she always gets her own way. And if she doesn't, she stamps her feet. She's not that interested in Tommy. He's just there and they're on the show and she feels threatened because someone's taking her toys away.
Yeah.
So, she's gone on about, they don't have great conversation and you can see that, Tommy is a good looking bloke. There's a lot about him to be interested in, but she was umming and ahhing, and then it seemed almost like it's almost like the path of least resistance. I'm coupled up with him anyway. He's a tasty dish. Let's stay with him. And then suddenly it's like, oh, hang about, someone's taking it away. It's my decision. You can't take away, my man. So, yeah, I thought she just came off like a little spoiled girl, to be honest. And Anton, yeah, you win the episode. I maintain he's a tool. I maintain that, he misfires, the things that, like the conversation with Anna the other day, he just gets it wrong, but absolutely put Molly in her place there. He did.
And also, sorry, I know I said 50 minutes we didn't see him. We did see Anton briefly on the date with Maura, but Dave, he had what can only be described as the tightest white pants I have ever fucking seen, Dave. I've not seen a codpiece like that since John Travolta stuffed the sock down his pants in the 70s. It was horrendous.
No wonder he has to shave himself. I mean, you can't possibly... Probably just getting those trousers on, gives you a bit of a waxing, like. So, yeah, those were extremely tight. And they seem to have a little bit of a connection there. And he's not bad at the old cooking, is he?
No, he did quite well. We know Tommy is fucking awful, but it's absolutely terrible. But
sorry, I'll give it back to you in a sec. But it just goes to show how desirable Tommy is, doesn't it? It's like, I'm going to give you not even cheese on toast. I'm going to give you dry bread with not just mayonnaise. I'm going to give you a bit of tomato sauce as well. I mean, I don't know why he thinks that combination works. He's a fucking athlete, for fuck's sake. Surely he doesn't eat that at home. So, you know, the fact that he can feed the girls this and, you know, he made his omelette with salt and pepper just goes to show how desirable he is. I'm going to feed you anything and you're still going to fancy the pants off me.
Yeah, I do. And I think tonight it goes off again. We've seen a preview and I honestly think he's going to kiss her because we saw a preview of Michael and Amber, didn't we? Sat on like a sort of a big cushion in the villa. It could be that as well, Dave. Yeah, the villa on the grass, and they're like going, oh, and they were like jumping around. And I was in bed. I'm not exaggerating. I'm like, oh, it's going off tomorrow. I can't wait. And she just looked at me like, you sat here, you're texting Dave and Asa all night about Love Island, and then Sam's trying to get in. Yeah, Sam's trying to get in. Yeah, tweeting constantly, and then Sam's trying to get in on the act of our little WhatsApp group, Dave. Well, I'm sorry. She will be making a debut, hopefully, at some point. I think she's itching to get on, but. No, very interesting. What are your predictions for tonight, Dave? I think Tommy kisses Maura tonight.
I don't think they'd have reacted like that. You know, I mean, Maura's come in. She does not give a fuck. Now, fair play to her for that. You obviously, you know, you like her for that, for the drama she creates. I think she's going a bit too far. I mean, surely you have to play this for the long game, and it is good for the drama. But I just kind of put myself in that villa, and I think, no, that's too much. You know, you're going out of your way to really, you know, just go after whatever you want. And, you know, she's made up her mind. It's Tommy. What I think will be funny is, you know, give it another week if someone else comes in, because Tommy's shown what his modus operandi is now, you know, and Maura's got the upper hand because she's not messing about. There's no games there. There's no deliberating. It's not a Molly May situation where she's like, oh yeah, but there are loads of fit blokes here. Who should I have? She's saying, Tommy, you're the one for me. Do you want this or not? And I think in his boyish, big smiley face, he's like, yeah, I want a bit of that. Got a bit of Irish in me. Do you want a bit of Irish in you? So I think that absolutely will happen. But the reaction we saw from Amber and Michael, I don't think that was an excited thing. I think that might be Danny and Yuandi. Because the way that they were like, oh, it's going to happen, they're excited. It's something they want to happen. And that's the only relationship I think that's there, that's been simmering, you know, it's been building. And I think in the villa, they probably want that to happen. So that's my prediction for tonight.
Good work. And we are going to be recording. We're hoping to get Asa back on this weekend, aren't we, to record with us. And hopefully maybe Sam as well. And if there's anyone out there wants to come on, get in contact with myself or Dave on Twitter at the Love Island Cast, or if you want to email the show, the loveislandcast@gmail.com. And I think that's it for today, Dave. It's been a nice little short sort of preview for tonight's episode and a bit of a review last night. So is there anything you want to lead us out with, Dave?
I would just like to say, you know, so we're getting, I thought, to be honest, when we started this, all the listeners would be from the UK, but we've got listeners from the US, from Ireland as well. So big shout out. Thanks a lot for listening initially. But I'm particularly interested in the listeners from Ireland. You know, what do you think of Maura coming in like that and how she's representing Ireland? Now, right now, I'm going to finish the show off, and by next week, I think Maura might be finishing Tommy off.
Goodbye. Hi Dave, it's Chris. Obviously I'm leaving a voicemail for our own podcast, but I'm out for Father's Day. It's the Saturday before Father's Day and I'm so excited about Love Island. I can't wait to get on later. If I am pissed, and we'll be recording an episode. If not, Team Maura all the way. And Asa doesn't know what he's talking about with Team Amber. I've gone right off all of them, but she's going to win it. And if she doesn't nail Tommy by the end of this show, I will not be happy. See ya.